Everyone is talking about integration failures. Enterprises mostly get hurt by the partial success. When 90% of the thing works, but the 10% doesn't. It is mostly subtle, often unnoticed, but can lead to dangerous damages of the system, misalignment of systems, and corrupts data. So today we are going to explore on this crucial topic, and today we have Shubhajit with us. So welcome to today's episode, Shubhajit.
Yeah, thank you, Namrata, for having me.
Okay, so Shubhajit, we are going to discuss on this crucial topic of integration failure, where most of the enterprises can face that partial failure and it can cause a lot of damages to the system. So, my first question to you will be what are the usual scenarios of this partial failure for integrations?
Okay. So, Namrata, as you know, system integration is a tricky subject. And when we are talking about, let's say, critical and crucial things, those things are smaller. So, partial failure can be of multiple types. One is, let's say, you are syncing 200 orders. Out of that, 10 orders not synced, right? So, this is a partial failure. On the other hand, you are trying to sync 200 orders from, let's say, any sales channel. It can be Amazon, it can be Shopify. And out of those 200 orders, all 200 orders are created within ERP system, can be SAP, can be Microsoft. But those 200 orders doesn't have, let's say, taxes mentioned or shipping charges are not mentioned. Only the gross amount is mentioned. That is also partial failure because there are 200 records now which you need to like correct manually. That creates additional load or additional bandwidths are choked for the resources that are working within those organizations. So this is an example. Like these are two examples, in fact. So you are trying to sync a large number of records, few records are not synced. Everyone will say that these are errors, these are partial failure. Now 200 records, 200 synced, but missing data, some information are missing. And in transaction, those missing data really have an impact. Another thing is, for an example, you sync customer information. Now, customer information has, let's say, the addresses are not synced. Though the customer data is synced, you have the customer name, their email ID, their phone number, but addresses are missing. That will also create data inconsistency. Similarly, if you think about stock management, so you have 5 warehouses and 5 inventory locations in Amazon or in Shopify. When you are trying to sync the data, the stock updates happen for a particular item across all 5 warehouses, but only 4 warehouses data are updated. One inventory location is still out of stock for that particular item in Amazon or Shopify. This is also partial failure. So these are, I think, some examples which I had just explained. You can think that these are some examples of what we can call a partial failure of system integration.
So, right, Shubhajit, the examples that you gave, I guess many of the merchants face this in real life scenarios. So, my next question to you would be what are the problems that are created due to this partial failure in merchants' businesses?
Okay. So it creates, smaller problem leads to bigger problem.
Right.
So first is the biggest problem it creates is the reporting. Because when you run monthly report, when you run quarterly report, be it a balance sheet, be it a profit and loss statement, be it an inventory report, that will have a larger error, which you will see that there are data inconsistency within that report, right? Another is obviously revenue leakage. So there will be some operational cost which is additional, which you have not calculated, which will have impact in your profit. And third is it is possible that your customers, the consumers who place the order, they are dissatisfied now. They're not satisfied because their order not fulfilled on time. The taxes are not shown in their order. So there can be, I think these are few impacts, primary impacts we can think in a business because of partial failure.
Okay, so there are a lot of technical things that are involved here. So, what are the primary technical causes that can lead to such scenarios?
Okay. I think the primary, cause which you think or which usually happen is wrong or missing field mappings or wrong or missing value mappings. So fields are basically where you need to map the source and destination fields between source and destination systems in system integration. So those definitions need to be correct. You should have the option to change those mappings as per the business requirement, because not every business is same. So merchant one doing let's say they want to connect Shopify with ACP, and merchant 2 they want to connect Shopify with ACP, but their settings and configurations can be completely different, related to tax, related to compliances, related to shipping, because one is from, for an example, manufacturing industry, another is pure play reseller. They're from let's say personal health care, health and beauty. So their requirements and settings and configurations are different. So if you think that you developed a system integration, a connector for the manufacturer will work as it is, and that same field mapping will work as it is for the health and beauty product seller, it is not possible. It will not going to happen. And these wrong mappings will create these kind of partial failures. I think this is one of the core reason for partial failure.
Right. So now, since we discussed about the major problems, so I would like you to discuss about how iPaaS can solve these primary challenges.
Okay. So it's a great question. So how iPaaS, the name, as you can understand, integration platform as a service, right? That's we call iPaaS. So it's a platform. It's
Right.
not a point-to-point connector. That is the first difference.
Correct.
The second difference is when you opt for an iPaaS, at least I think the first advantage that you get is notification of error. So if something is wrong, the iPaaS will throw an error and it will notify the user that, let's say, the order value is mismatched, the stock has not been synced, out of 5 locations, 1 location is missing. So it can throw error and it can notify the user. So I think that is another preventive measure. Not preventive, I would say this is more or less which happen after reactive measure, but you get the reaction quickly and you can take action, the next action very quickly and recover that, rather than waiting for the month end when the errors are piled up. So I think these are one of the few advantages of having iPaaS. Another is the dynamic mapping changes and dynamic configuration. Because iPaaS, as we know, iPaaS is not fixed, it's not static. The field mapping can be dynamic, the workflows can be changed, you can add custom field mapping, you can map additional tax codes, you can map additional shipping codes. All these can be mapped and you can change it for each implementation. So for manufacturer, the mappings will be different. For the health and beauty product seller for that particular company, the mappings can be different. The default fields mapping will be same, but the additional field mapping can be different. I think these are the advantages that iPaaS brings in system integration, and it really is a game changer for the users, for the merchants. It helps them to focus in their business process without worrying about what kind of errors, what kind of partial failures that they face.
Okay, so thank you for addressing the problem and clearly giving us an idea about how iPaaS can solve these major challenges of merchant businesses. So it was a lovely session with you on this crucial topic of that partial integration failure. And I hope we discussed about the major pain points that can businesses face due to this partial failure of integrations. This was another episode of Unmuted Friday. Thank you for watching this video and stay tuned for the next video.
Thank you.